Hello, Leos, and welcome to Deku Tarot. I'm going to be doing your July 2019 monthly spiritual and tarot reading. This is for Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. As you guys know, it cannot and it will not resonate with all of you, and that's okay. Do check out your monthlies for your other placements. I'm just going to start this off with one small quick message. Just stick around to the end if you want a discount on any Teespring merch, and for any information on booking a reading, etc. So stick around to the end for any announcements and other messages. I just want to get right into your reading. So again, this is for Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. As you guys know, it probably won't resonate with all of you, and that's okay. So let's talk about, I got a lot of really big messages for you, but I think that the best way to go about this, honestly, is to talk about the astrology a little bit first, and then we're just gonna dive right in, okay? All right, so Leos, I'm just actually going to read some tidbits here from my Astro Moon Diary instead of trying to go through all the notes that I have on these eclipses. There's just so much, and just know that this is a month of a lot of toxic things coming to the surface to be evaluated, to be released for the next 6 months. You know, this is kind of like a midway point in the year where we are checking in, and both of these eclipses are bringing up a lot of really intense endings, a lot of really painful discoveries. It's going to be it's going to be a difficult month here, and it's going to be very confusing with all the retrogrades, but we'll talk about that in a second. So the future is taking root in the present. The occurrence of the solar and lunar eclipses in Cancer and Capricorn respectively marks this month out as a portal into that future. The opposition of the solar eclipse on the 2nd to Saturn in Capricorn portends radical change in the traditional security and support systems like government, insurance, or economic systems. Tense situations are brought to critical mass over the following weeks by the inflammatory tango of Mars and Mercury through the early degrees of Leo. As they square up to Taurus and Uranus, so the likelihood of unpredictable confrontations over national sovereignty increases. So too does the likelihood of unexpected upheavals in the Taurian realms of resources, banking, and the land. The eclipse of the full moon in Capricorn on the 16th, which conjuncts Pluto, is yet another cosmic harbinger of irreversible change. It gives no choice but to let go. For those with eyes to see, the eclipse of the past is opening the door to the consideration of a radically different creative approaches. Break with tradition and do it differently. A silver lining to the dark clouds should gradually manifest after the 22nd, when the sun enters Leo and Mars begins to form a positive aspect to Sagittarian Jupiter. Hopes rise and confidence increases. The wider perspective shows that a greater awareness of the true nature of wealth and the sustainability of the earth's riches and resources is just beginning to emerge. So, let's talk about some, now with all that information, or that little kind of overview of the astrology, let's get into some of the spiritual message that I was getting for you guys. In relation to all that's being retrograde, we have Saturn, we have Jupiter, we have Neptune, we have Pluto, and then we're going to have Mercury going retrograde on the 7th, and it's going retrograde in your sign. Yes, it is, Leo. And I am going to look at my notes on that one and put these up here so I can look at these for you guys. But yeah, when it goes retrograde in your sign, things are gonna really want to come out. And as you guys know, in Mercury retrograde, it's not the best time to try to bring things out. It's not the best time to try to force conversations. And I feel that right before you hit, Mercury enters your sign, then it goes retrograde, you're going to want to say things. You're going to want to start bringing things up, and it feels more egotistical than anything. So I'm going to have to say it might be better to not push things really until Mercury is no longer retrograde. Maybe when the sun is in your sign, things will feel a little bit different. But honestly here, hold on. Sorry about that. I had to make sure the dog didn't start barking because the mailman just came. But anyways, it's bringing up a lot of, this Mercury retrograding in your sign is bringing up a lot of really intense past toxicity. And it's doing this so that you don't get involved in that again, so that you don't get back into that energy. Let's just start pulling some cards and seeing if I can say this in a way that might be lighter and easier for you to hear. because I know Capricorn and Virgo have been getting some really tough readings for a while. I think it was Capricorn for a while. It's been Virgo for a little bit. And I feel like you guys have been like, oh, haha, like, whatever. At least it's not us. This month, it's kind of you. So I'm going to be honest. It's you guys this month. And it's tough, you know. There's a lot of confusing retrograde energy. Cancer season is not comfortable for you. As a sign that's kind of known to be, you know, I mean, the sun, the center of attention, it's going to feel very forced if you're trying to get the attention on you this month. It's not going to be a good time. It's going to, the ways that you usually try to communicate and act might end up sucking air out of the room. So let's see, what is your general energy this month? What are we getting here? And you have to be careful of that, because when people are backed into a corner, you're not the only one who can get aggressive, Leo. It's not just fire sign energy. If you back anyone into a corner, earth, water, fire, air, you know, you never know what's going to happen, is really what I have to say about that. Everybody learns to fight. Everybody learns they have claws. Everybody learns how to fight for their life, how to fight themselves out of an uncomfortable situation. So just know that this month you might not really know, wow, how you're coming across. The Fool reversed. What does this mean for your energy for the month? And I was going to say maybe I shouldn't take reversals, but I mean, there's so much reverse this month in terms of the planets, you know, moving backwards, that it feels almost wrong for me to say I'm not going to use reversals this month, especially because I feel that the Fool reverse here is kind of the energy I'm talking about for you guys. This is the Morgan Greer deck, if you're wondering. It just felt really just bright enough for you. But the Fool reversed here, we all know what the Fool reversed means. We know it means foolishness. We know it means decisions based on ego, actions based on ego that we're not really thinking through. It's putting our foot in our mouth here in any situation. So I don't want to say take a step back this month, but take a step back. Because the way you're coming across right now, Fool reversed. You're not making the best decisions, especially in terms of big money, big career, big life decisions, even in relationships. You're not making the decisions that you need to right now. You're not in your best headspace. So now is really not the time to start new things, push on new matters, spend large amounts of money. Again, there's this great push behind you, and nobody else is, it feels to me like it's because you guys are about to enter your season, you're preparing for that, but nobody else is going to get that this season, and especially not in this Cancerian mother energy. It's just not going to make sense to people. It's really not going to make sense to people, and they're going to really be like, why is it all about you? Isn't it about everybody? Isn't it about home, family, everything? It's not going, so the way you normally come across and the way you normally are in Cancer season, you're going to need to keep your expectations a lot lower in terms of getting the responses, the clarity, the things that you're asking for, the things that you think that you deserve right now. You have to dial it back and realize that that's all your ego. Okay, so let's see what else is coming out here. The Fool reverse, please don't put your foot in your mouth. You know, you're being asked to understand that communication is just really not going to be clear right now. You're going to need to understand that, you know, you could end up pressing your luck and being foolish in certain situations, and I feel like that's the only way I can push it, is that you might be pushing, yep, the Magician reverse. I want to talk about him upright and reverse. We'll hold him upright because we don't want to beat y'all up that bad. You can get yourself out of this situation, but it's really all about how you handle it. If you have been in any way underhanded, if you've been in any way sneaky in it, it doesn't just have to be you. Even if you see that somebody else is being that way this season, this is not a good time to try to prove them wrong, to try to prove yourself, or try to prove what they're doing. It's not going to come across that way, and you're going to end up being like, oh my God, I can't believe I did this. Why did I do it this way, when you look back on it in the future? So these are some intense dynamics that are coming up here. If you have been less than kosher, if you have, and you know, Leos, I don't like to call signs out for things, but I love you all, okay? Like I have one of my best friends is a Leo, and I love her. She's amazing. And I know a lot of people with Leo rising and a lot of people with Leo moons, and love you guys. But I will say, some of you guys, one of your less developed Leo traits would be that we enjoy, or we not enjoy, but we try to do things that are going to make people like us, or going to, you know, bring it, you know, to keep us in the spotlight. It's kind of more, it's a selfish energy, and it can go the wrong way this month. And I'm not saying that you're always selfish and always has to be all about you, but when we feel like, when we start getting, it almost feels like you get a little bit stampy this month about, you know, how it's not just all about you, and you try to push for that attention, you try to push for these things, and it's not going to go the same way. Again, it's going to be uncomfortable. I feel like I just get this sense of like, again, sucking the air out of a room, sucking the air out of a situation. So be careful with what you're saying and how you're saying it, where, in terms of especially where you are, and how your ego is coming across in terms of what you're putting out there, okay? The Magician reverse, again, is don't be underhanded. I just want to say that. I don't know if some of you guys are thinking that, or if you have been trying to hide something, but that Magician reverse to me is always a sneaky snake oil salesman. Somebody that says one thing, does another. They'll be like, oh yeah, it's this, this, and this, and then in reality you find out later they were working against you. They were trying to take from you. They were trying to manipulate you. It's a very manipulative energy. So don't, and I feel, again, this has a lot to do with past toxicity that's coming up with Mercury retrograde in your sign, and Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, and all those other retrogrades are bringing up hugely toxic behaviors, negative, bad, crappy things, just things that, you know, are problems of our own, that are problems that have happened to us. I think a lot of it is negative behaviors that are coming out here with the Fool reverse, Magician reverse. If you've been gallivanting around and you thought you could manipulate a situation to your favor, or that you can, you know, try to work it into your favor this month, that's all ego-based, and you got to let it go. It's not going to work that way this month. It's not going to happen. What's in your energy, in your surrounding energy and surrounding environment? I just feel like, again, with the Fool reverse, the Magician reverse, there's this energy of, you might be getting that look of, hey, stop talking. So pay attention for that look, pay attention for those messages, pay attention for somebody to say that to you or push you there. Even if they don't say it outright, you are being asked to kind of shut your mouth, because you might be coming across full force, like, way out there. Your energy has that this month. Again, like I was saying, it's just got this crazy energy with Mercury retrograde in your sign. It just feels like you're talking and talking and talking all on ego, and none of it is really reaching the way you thought it would. So who's in your environment, situations, people? The Hierophant. Somebody that's very traditional, possibly an earth sign, possibly a Taurus. However, I feel, for a lot of you, this feels like an older figure. This feels like somebody that has more traditional values, somebody that is going to say, you know, hey, take it slow, relax, don't focus on that. We need to focus on, you have bigger picture things coming in this month, long-term situations. And again, the Hierophant is a very largely all-encompassing type of energy here, and type of card. Yes, it's traditionally the card of Taurus. We have 3 major arcana right here, by the way. Just saying. And this isn't like one of those decks that's all major arcana. It's a normal deck, so this is pretty crazy to me. You have a lot of very serious, studious, take it slow, take it in a more traditional manner this month. So again, don't be spending big, you know, despite what situations might come up. Don't be making decisions that are going to ruin you for the future here, that are going to come around and bite you in the ass, okay? You have to watch for things like that this month, all right? The Hierophant, again, is saying to take it slow, reconnect with our higher self. Listen to that part of us that says stop, or, you know, even if that's a friend, a mentor, a father figure, even a mother. To me, this feels like some of us might need to go and, or you know, are thinking about going and going back to school. Sorry, Sybil's right next to me and she just started snoring. So if you hear a dog snoring, she's literally right at my feet. She's precious. But you hear that? Yeah. Maybe going back to school, learning something new, taking it easier, needing to rely on that part of us that tells us to take a nap, to take it easy, to trust in ourselves here, to trust in a longer term. Might be time to take a nap, honestly. And maybe that's really when your higher self will reach out to you. But don't try to rush through things, even though you feels like maybe your ankles are, you know, we've got fire at our heels and we have to start running, and that's why we're talking so fast and doing this and doing that. It's time to not do that. It's time to not give into that energy. It's time to fight against that. Not so much fight against it, but don't give into that egocentric energy of, you know, well, I gotta say this. I gotta bring this up now. I gotta do this. Don't. If you think something's gonna be funny, I'm getting, for some of you, a lot of people are not gonna find that funny right now. I don't know if it's just the Cancer energy, but I feel like your sense of humor isn't coming across as well. All right, let's see here. And I think it's just because you guys want to know what's going on. You want clarity. You want to see where this is all heading. But again, with all this retrograde, especially because Mercury is retrograding in your sign, it's not happening. So, in terms of events, situations, people surrounding Leo in July 2019, I do feel there's things definitely feel better once you get to the end of the month. 7 of Wands, though. Weirdly enough, I want to pull another, because 7 of Wands there just to me is needing to, again, fight the urge. Fight the urge to do what you normally do. Fight the urge to be immature. Fight the urge to try to force communication and try to force understanding, and to, you know, fight the urge to ignore all the toxic behaviors and, you know, patterns and crap that are coming up to be released right now. Even if they're, you know, relationships, people, you know, there's toxic stuff that is coming to the surface, and we really need to look at it and be honest with ourselves and not let the ego get in the way of what needs to be done with it. Does that make sense? So let's see here. We have the 8 of Pentacles, and when I see that with the 7 of Wands, again, you need to work on yourself. We need to be working on us. Sorry, guys, I had to pause that for a second, because as you can see, I'm not in my normal space, and it's interesting how each reading happens and what's going on around the reading, because I knew in my heart of heart, not in my heart, I just knew that my partner is eventually going to wake up and I doesn't have to move or pause this. And it's like, if you know what's going to happen, then why even set yourself up for that? Why even set yourself up for difficulty? I'm not just saying that about myself because it's not a big deal for me, but for you guys, make sure you're not setting yourself up for difficult situations, for things to fall apart, for issues here. And again, when I see the 7 of Wands and that 8 of Pentacles, I just feel like we might feel very much like our principles and who we are, especially in terms of how we work and how we build up our life, you know. And it doesn't even have to just be that, you know, how we live our life, you know, with Pentacles, you know, where we're putting money, how we're spending it, you know, what we're eating, all of that stuff. We're going to feel like our principles are under attack right here, and we're going to feel like we need to uphold our own values. However, when I see the 8 of Pentacles with it, I see that it would be better to work on this rather than to fight against people telling you, hey, Leo, might be time to not do this, might be time to mature, might be time to, you you know, start dropping some of these behaviors. Start, you know, does this really benefit you in the long run? Is this a really healthy way to live? Is this a healthy way to speak to people, to have relationships? Is this a healthy way that you're approaching, you know, even a love relationship that you're in with your partner? It's needing to know that sometimes we try to uphold values because our ego doesn't want to say, hey, maybe you do need to grow. Hey, maybe you do need to change. Because this month, guys, there is a really extreme push on your end to really to mature. It's really, really asking you to apply a type of non-egocentric growth here. I'm trying to like put this in a way that's not, I don't want to make you guys mad this month, because you guys have like a Virgo reading this month where things are tough, and then you guys might get mad at me. But you know, there is this need to, again, look at our values, look at the way we're approaching situations. If we're pissing people off, if we are sucking the air out of them and people are saying, what are you doing, like, stop, it's time to really look at ourselves in that situation. What kind of values, what kind of behaviors are we really trying to uphold here? And are they benefiting us long term? Or is it time for us to start working on that? The Eight of Pentacles, yeah, it can be about work, but I've always seen that personally as a reader as a need to work on ourselves. A really deep need. Yeah, it can, especially in a career reading, it can be that, but I feel that this is more about working on you, building yourself up into something more, okay? So let's see what might hinder you this month, what might hinder you, what might give you some issues this month. What's coming up here? Page of Cups. Water signs, emotional indecisions. There is this, again, there's emotional confusion. It's Cancer season. There is this emotionality to Cancer season that is, you know, this almost Piscean card. I also feel, because I see the Page of Cups often as a Piscean card. There's a fish there. There's confusion. What does the fish want? I don't know. I have this dreamy perspective and that's what I want, but is it real? Am I talking to a fish right now? There is a very mystical, magical, unrealistic energy to the Page of Cups, and it's wanting so badly to sort through all this confusion and how it's making you feel and why it's doing this, and, you know, how do you really feel and why are you saying this and why is your reaction like this? There's a lot of Piscean questions of what is the source of this mystery, what's really going on here. You might also feel very confused about a water sign in your life, and the need, or, you know, that push to get into those emotional depths and try to figure them out right now and try to seek out that clarity isn't going to work for you, okay? So don't get into that energy. It's not going to work right now. We have to be practical. We have to be less egocentric, less emotional, and really take pause and work on ourselves and mature in the ways that we're being asked to mature. What is in your power this month, Leo? Whoa, Five of Swords. And I have to say, guys, this is my favorite card in the deck, and it's not because of what it means or anything like that. Honestly, artistically, this is my favorite card. This is the reason I got this deck and the reason I wanted it for so long, because I absolutely love this illustration. I love the colors. Anyways, we're gonna let it go. But when I see the Five of Swords, there is this sneakiness, this defeated energy you might feel on the other side of this. But we have to look at what role we've played in, you know, having this Five of Swords situation, because Five of Swords are fights. Five of Swords is, you know, somebody coming in and taking something from you and leaving you with nothing. However, I will say, hold on one second, let me turn off my phone there. It's gonna start going off. But there is, and it makes me uncomfortable. I don't know how to say it. Like, it's making me uncomfortable, because I think that you guys know that maybe you have done something wrong here. Maybe you have disadvantageous situation. Maybe you brought dishonor onto yourself because of something that you did in the past. Because again, I think this is past stuff coming up this month. That's what retrogrades do. That's what eclipses do. It's time to let it go. So you might be feeling extremely defeated and like, wow, I feel really called out right now. I feel attacked. I feel very hurt. I would say, even though the Five of Swords, it's saying it's coming in your power, it's in your power to recognize these areas, even if it hurts right now. I don't feel like this is you guys fighting. I'm going to say that right now, so don't start being like, oh, you're reading the card wrong. I'm a tarot reader. Thank you. I've been doing this for 10 years, and I think I know, you know, how to read the messages from spirit. Thank you. So sometimes it's not just all about the card, but it's about the imagery. It's about the messages that come in from, you know, spirit, from your higher selves during it. And that's what's really more important here, because the Five of Swords is going to be pretty much the same thing in every deck, but it doesn't mean the same thing every single time. And again, there's this disharmony, dishonor here that I think you guys know was coming, because you know where you've been underhanded and sneaky. You know where you've, put people, back people into a corner and taken their swords. I don't mean this, like, again, I don't really mean for this to be like a call out reading, but this is a really intense month for you guys. Again, if you push people, from whatever you're saying or doing, it feels like you pushed someone into a corner, you pushed a situation into a corner, and you expected it to not come back and fight you back, or, it wasn't going to hurt you the same way, it wasn't going to fight. But then again, like I was saying earlier, you realize by making others uncomfortable, by sucking the air out of the room, by backing somebody or something into a corner because your energy is so forceful and pushy and erratic right now, it's not turning out well. It's going to be messy. It's not going to go in your favor. So I would say don't do that. I'm going to pull a card of advice for you. Dang, guys. I hope that your reading for your season is not like this. This might be the changes that we need to make before we're allowed to enter this new year. Yeah, what's in your power is Four of Cups. I'm sorry, apologies. Waiting right now. Whatever you're waiting for, you're not going to be getting this month. You might be getting it in your season, you might be getting it at a different time, but I would say, again, when somebody comes at you and says that you did this, or when you back them into a corner and they're like, listen, no, you don't act that way, you don't do this, you're making, like, when somebody comes back to fight you after you've put them up against the wall here, you have to recognize how this is really coming across people, because it's not going to be clear to you right now. It really isn't. And you might be so confused about, why is everybody doing this? Why is this happening? What's going on? You need to sit down and you need to look at this, and we need to stop trying to drive forward and drive our energy into this person, that person, this situation, that situation. There's a lot of you versus other people, you and other situations this month, instead of more internal, where, Cancer has been a very internal journey. This is the Four of Cups, though, and the Four of Cups to me, can sometimes mean apologies. Whatever we're waiting for, that fourth cup, it might not be coming this month, but we might also have to accept it and realize that, oh, maybe they're giving me this opportunity to make things right. Oh, maybe I should be the one saying something. Maybe I should be the one holding out this cup. So people come at you this month, the best thing you can do is be quiet, apologize, and wait for things to clear up, really, okay? So let's get a Stacey DeMarco Halloween Oracle card. And I'm not really going to go into love, because I just feel like you guys just had a very long, intense reading there. And I think, again, this has a lot to do with any type of relationships in your life, not just love. But I just think these messages are more spiritual. These messages are more overarching. We'll talk more about love and specifics and stuff in the weekly, so check those out. But message from your higher self of guidance, whatever it is that you need to do right now, whatever it is you need to know this month. Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Lady de los Muertos, acceptance and equality. You get the book here. Okay. So, I'm like, where do I hold this right now? Where have I been holding it? Okay, acceptance and equality. Acknowledging that death is a natural process that will enter everyone's life at some time, and that perhaps until then we can choose to be life affirming, takes away much of the fear. Take a light approach to a situation initially, and it may work out better. If you are holding on to something that does not serve you any longer, in particular material things, simplify and let go. So again, what are you holding on to that is causing all these problems? What kind of behavior, situations, even things that you spend money on, addictions, issues, we need to start letting things go and really recognizing our faults here, because things need to end and die. Okay, some of you guys might having might be having a relationship, a job situation, a friendship, something, and it's time to accept what has happened and be very mature, open, and honest with yourself about it. Release the things that are bringing up these issues. Release the things, be honest with yourself, and again, don't let the ego get in the way of what needs to be let go of in your life here. All right, Leos, you have really big messages this month. I really hope you enjoyed them. I know they were tough. I am wishing you guys all the best. Do check out your weeklies as well as your monthlies for your other placements. If you want to get 20% off of a Teespring order, all my designs are below. I'm trying to work on you guys, and I have a lot of Leos that are like, where's a Leo design? I'm like, I'm working on it. It's been tough. It's been a really intense month. Gemini season knocked us for a loop. It's been crazy. But anyways, if you want to order something before July and get 20% off, you can use the code Full Moon, capital F, capital M. And in July, I'm going to be using the code Cancers with a capital C. And you can get 20% off of your order for anything. You can check out the Taurus video to check out the little Taurus tank top. There's sweatshirts, other things, like it's not just tank tops. I know some people were like, but there's a lot of other designs, and I'm trying to put them on other shirts and stuff. So check that out, guys. I'm really excited to share that with you. I designed them myself. I'm an illustrator and an animator, and I have been my whole life. So it's really exciting to share this with you guys and merge these parts of my life and my interests. Also, if you want to book a private reading, all that information is right below this video in my description box. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. I'm wishing you nothing but the best, guys. Please remember to like, share, and absolutely subscribe. I really do appreciate the shares, guys. They always help, and it makes me so happy that you guys want to share my videos. So thank you, guys. Have a blessed July. Wishing you guys nothing but the best.